Are you ready?
I'm ready. I was born ready.
All right, here we go.
MLM Unlimited. Discussing unlimited MLM tips, tricks, concepts, and ideas.
All right, guys. Hey, welcome to MLM Unlimited. I'm Michael, my wife, Charlene. Today, we have the pleasure of interviewing Matt Partain. Matt, how are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing, guys. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. It's been a great Friday. Looking forward to an even busier weekend.
Absolutely.
So, tell people a little bit about yourself, where you got your start and what exactly it is that your focus is on.
Well, absolutely, guys. So I'm Matt Partain. I'm a sales trainer, author. I'm a legacy leader. I want to influence as many people as I possibly can and teach them the great gift, the great skill of selling. Because I believe if you can sell, you're never going to be without a job. And every single day you have the chance to give yourself a pay raise. It is the most important skill, and it's the most universal skill. It doesn't matter what job you have, where you work, you can take it anywhere with you.
Very true. I like that.
When did you first start getting into sales?
I first started getting into sales officially when I was 17 years old. I started at a supplement store, actually. It was a local supplement shop. Went in there. That's actually when I just gotten into working out and bodybuilding. And I was like, man, I really like the products. I like the atmosphere here. Put in an application and boom, got everything rocking and rolling.
Okay.
So you got into sales. What so far has been the hardest obstacle for you to overcome when you first started out? Was it, meeting people, or what was it?
The hardest thing starting out is really breaking out of your own skin, your own comfort zone, like the walls that we put up, just throughout our life, right? Because as we're little kids, like we've got this big imagination of I can and do anything. I want to be a laser gun firing, cowboy robot astronaut, right? But as we grow up, we get more and more limited mentally. So we put up these walls, we put up these roadblocks. That's the biggest obstacle that I had to overcome, was just stepping outside of my comfort zone and challenging myself every day.
Where do you get your inspiration from?
I honestly, I get my inspiration just from myself and the kind of BS that I've had to go through in my life. A really big hit of inspiration actually came from my grandma. When I was 16 years old, well, when I was 12, she was diagnosed with a disease called vasculitis. It normally goes after a major organ like kidney, liver, lungs, and it basically just destroys them. Well, it went after her central nervous system. And she lost all feeling, couldn't walk, the whole nine. And I mean, she was a woman, she was a biker. I mean, she was a hard worker, everything. And when I was from 12 to 16, I actually had to care for her. So I had to grow up kind of quick. And at 16, she passed away. And I was the one that actually found her passed.
Wow.
So that hit me hard, as far as, you literally never know when you're going to take your last breath. So you've got to maximize on every day. It doesn't matter if you're scared, if you're worried, if you're nervous. It doesn't matter if you fail and get punched in the face. You've still got to move forward. You've got to work towards something. Right.
So when you first started out, did you look at certain people for advice in the sales, industry?
Well, when I very first started, one of my best friends to this day, he was my very first mentor. He was I think he's 7 years older than I am. So I was 17, so he was 24, and he was kind of showing me the ropes, how to specifically talk to people in the supplement industry, really kind of get down to their core wants and needs, and get down to the nitty gritty. After that, I just took it and ran with it myself. It was a bunch of trial and error. It was a bunch of getting knocked down and getting back up over and over again. I really didn't have any resources, at least I didn't know that I had any resources to reach out to. So a lot of it was just sheer grit.
So now, obviously, the majority of our followers are, multi-level marketers, network marketers, direct sales, all the different names you can call it these days. So how familiar are you with network marketing?
Very familiar. I mean, network marketing, it's a corporate structure as anything else, and everybody's a salesman. You've got a different product or a different line of products that you're pushing, and you've got a specific way that you're doing it. Instead of doing any big media advertising, internet, radio ads, whatever, this is our advertising. It's our word of mouth. But using things like social media, our word of mouth spreads like wildfire.
Yes.
So yeah, sales is sales, the product's the product. You just got to make sure that you have everything lined out in order.
Okay. Do you do any kind of sales coaching, or is that your primary focus, or do you only do the sales, specific for you, or what is that?
No, I do sales coaching, sales training. That's what I love to do. I've been in sales technically since 17, as far as like having a W-2 or having my name on it, right? But I've been in sales my entire life, and sales is something that it seemed to come a little more naturally to me than most, and something that I learned at a very young age. If you're really good at something, if you have a gift and you have even the opportunity to share it with somebody, it's your duty and obligation to do so. So that's what I love to do, is actually teaching people how to sell, how to create the life that they actually want, instead of just taking the life that they get.
So at what age did you realize that you had that gift, the gift to gab, or, sell ice to Eskimos or all that? At what age?
It really hit me when I was 16, actually. It was my second job. I was a busser at a restaurant, and I was cleaning up a table next to this family, and we just all started just talking, and before we knew it, everybody was laughing and we're having a good old time. And when they left, the dad, he actually came up to me and he said, thanks for showing us a good time. It was a blast, and shook my hand and slipped me a 20. And I was only making like $7 an hour at the time. So I was just like, wow, I made 3 hours worth of pay just having a conversation with somebody. This is really cool. What else can I do with it?
That would be a great way to start out.
Yeah.
There's actually in our business, there's some people that are really high up on the food chain that he's known for. When they go out to dinner and stuff with the team, when they leave, he'll tip the waiter or waitress $100 bill. And it's like, if that's your first day and you get tipped $100 bill,
right,
you're like, I got this made. I don't know why anybody complains about waitressing, So
that's a good day.
Yeah. I just, one day we're going to get to that point. That's one of our goals, is to be able to overly tip when you get good service.
Right.
That's one of the things that I want to do. I want to make life-changing, actions. I want to just at random, somebody that doesn't even expect it, and just do something like that that's going to make their day.
And we need more of that. We need more positivity in the world. Every time we flip on the news or anything, it's nothing but, negativity and fear and yada, yada. And we're surrounded by enough of it. So we need more of that. I commend you guys for it. Absolutely.
So what piece of advice would you give somebody that's just starting out in sales? That's just starting out in sales,
or that's just starting out in like MLM, or both?
Both.
Okay. Just starting out in MLM, talk to everybody that you know, okay? Everybody, even if you know for a fact they can't afford your product, they're not interested in it whatsoever, talk to them anyway. Because everybody knows, like what's that rule? We're like 3 people away from getting contacted to whoever we want in the world, right?
Yes.
You're going to get fed into different networks, and you're also able to get the marbles out of your mouth. You're able to get rid of those jitters when you're first starting, right? Yes, MLM is multi-level marketing, right? Sorry, just had a question on Periscope. But yeah, absolutely. So talk to everybody that you know. The biggest piece of advice, though, that I can give just in selling in general, don't try to sell, try to serve. So many of us, we automatically want to go into a product pitch. Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I got. Hey, buy my thing here, right? Well, you got to first find out if there's a need or if there's a want for it, and how you can make that connection happen. Then people are going to be more open and receptive to actually see what you got.
Makes sense.
Now, we're just going to expand on those 2 answers right there. So
Okay.
For the part where you said, if, not everybody is can afford your product or whatever, you're a sales guy. What is something that new network marketers could say or do to get over that, well, your product's too expensive, I could get the same product for less at Walmart or wherever. Even though, in my opinion, network marketing, MLM, the products that are created through these systems are some of the best you're going to find. That's my opinion. Otherwise, the businesses wouldn't stay in business if the products weren't of the highest of quality. And that goes for any of the businesses.
Absolutely.
But what is something, say we're brand new in the business and we find somebody that says, no, that's way too expensive. What's a way to, I hate to say rebuttal that and convince them that it's not, but you understand what I'm saying? Like just to prove them that it's not.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. If you go into anything and the first thing you want to do is pitch product or pitch service, it's always going to be too expensive because you do have a direct competitor with anything. Let's say that you have a supplement line, right? You're working with companies, say like Melaleuca, for example. They've got all these different supplements. Can you get supplements very similar at 10 million other places? Yes. So when all you do is go in to pitch a product, you're going to be dead in the water. You're going to shoot yourself in the foot because everybody's got a competitor. Everybody does roughly the same thing. The difference is it's you. You're the X factor there. Why are we talking right now? Why am I in front of you? More importantly, how can I help you? And how can we get this done right here and right now? Could you get another product somewhere else? Yes. Now let me ask you something. Do you want something that's cheap in money and cheap in quality, or do you want something that's actually going to make a difference for you? You got to look at the price versus the cost. Now, another answer that I would have to that, I'm more proactive than I would be reactive. Okay. So what I mean by that is I would eliminate that from ever popping up. When you're dealing with people, just lay out the groundwork when you're first talking to a prospect. I've got some products here, and look, I'm going to be honest with you, they're not cheap, but do you want something cheap or do you want something that works? You've tried everything else, right? You've been dealing with this problem for 2, 3, 4 years, and you haven't seen the change that you want to see yet, right? Are you ready to start seeing it? Absolutely. Then let's get started. This is how we do this.
Sold.
That's good. I like that.
So what are some of your go-to tactics in sales that work every time?
My go-to tactics that work every time. One, you got to smile. Always have a smile. I tell my guys that I train, think of yourself like a bug zapper. You just want to be so bright that people can't help but come around you, right? So my big things, I'm always very passionate, very excited. I ask a lot of questions because, like I said in the beginning, it's not about sales, it's about service. You might not be the best fit for somebody, or your product or your service might not be the best fit, but that doesn't mean that you can't help them and they can't take something away from you, right? And somebody that I follow, somebody that I emulate, who's the biggest name in the sales game? Grant Cardone, right? Grant Cardone. He always talks about, leveraging your prospects and everything. Just because somebody doesn't buy from you then does not mean that they're not going to buy from you. And if you give them the best service and you follow up and stay in contact with them, you're going to be in the forefront of their mind. So when they are ready to do business, or you do have another venture, boom, you're going to be able to make that connection so much easier than anybody else coming in ice cold.
Right. I like that. I've been, I recently, within, I'd say the last 2 months, started watching Grant Cardone, Facebook Lives, and got on one of his webinars last Saturday or Saturday before, something like that. Just because his charisma, his ego, I guess, if you want to use a term that some people misunderstand. Yeah. It's catching. Like you were saying, when you smile and, you have a lot of energy and whatever, that's addictive. Like, that's attractive to people. So when I saw the first video of him and he's so fired up and ready to go, I'm like, yeah, I could watch this. It's not boring. Right. It's not like, Bueller. Exactly. Yeah.
So do you read books about sales?
I do. It's kind of funny. Up until the past about the past year, I'd not read a single book on selling. Like I said, everything was trial and error. And to everybody watching Periscope, Busker, everybody watching here, don't do that. It's so costly. Is it effective? Yes, but it eats up a ton of time. As far as books, I've read every book that Grant Cardone's put out. One of my favorite books, though, it's not about selling directly. It's The Game by Neil Strauss. Have you guys had a chance to read that or listen to it yet?
Nope, but I'm going to write that down on our handy dandy little notes here.
It's a great book, guys. It's about pickup artists, actually, guys going out and picking up women. But how the book describes it, it's all the psychology of everything. Okay,
right.
You know, so there's a certain way that you can present your product, which in that case would be yourself, right? And there's a certain way you're going to do it where you're going to get a specific result. You know, for example, you know, in the sales game, you could say, like, somebody could walk into your store, or you know, and you could say, what brings you in today? I'm not interested in anything. I'm just looking, right? We get that response. We hear it all the time. You know, how can I help you? I'm just looking, right? I don't want anything. Or you can say, have you ever shopped here before? Yeah, I have. Awesome. What do you normally go after? What section can I direct you to? At least the lines of communication are going to be open now because you haven't broken down a wall, but you kind of skirted around it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, man, I had a question. It was going right along that line. I gotta back this up. There was you go ahead, because that question was going to be really good, and I lost it.
It'll come to you. It'll come.
So the game that you were just talking about, is that, calm down, is that a book that you would recommend to somebody just starting out? Would you recommend that be the first book that they read?
Maybe not the first book that they read, but yeah, it should definitely be within the top 5. You know, because it's, like I said, it's all about just how you're presenting your product, presenting yourself. Because a lot of what a lot of starting out salespeople forget, or maybe they don't even realize, prospects, they speak a totally different language than you and I. And you've got to make sure that you two are on the same wavelength. If you say anything they don't understand, you're over their head, boom, big disconnect. I don't want to have anything to do with you. Thank you so much for talking to me, though. Have a nice day. Not interested, right?
So she reminded me. So with sales, especially in MLM, do you recommend people to brand themselves or no? Like what a lot of people in the MLM industries, either they start a business with, we'll say, Herbalife.
Okay.
And with Herbalife the whole time, and they love it and everything goes good, you know, their business takes off.
Right.
People like Ray Higdon, that he's been through 11 different network marketing companies in 10 years. You know, I don't know, he could tell you better, but you know, it could be you don't believe in the product, you know, sometimes, and they say everything works, not everything works for you. So it could be the product, it could be the business model, it could be that you're brand new to network marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, would you recommend people to start off by branding themselves, or should they use the business more?
I think starting out, you should use the business more and work into branding yourself as you find yourself, right? Because some people starting out in MLM, if they have no idea what to do, they have no direction, they have no leadership, no mentors, whatever, they're going to fall off, right? So you don't want that branding them branding and then failing. You don't want that to actually hurt the brand and hurt the efforts of anybody else. So I would start out, you know, just, you know, hey, this is what I'm doing. I kind of got a new venture going on, yada, yada, yada. But then as you, like I said, as you find yourself, you find that product or that service that you really love, that you are passionate about, that you do believe in, then start branding yourself. Because then you have something to actually like stand behind. Right. And that's what people are, they're really looking for that. You could push product for anybody.
That's right. True. So what kind of sales training do you recommend to others?
I recommend keeping your options as open as humanly possible. everybody has a story to tell, and everybody that you meet, they know something you don't know. So the last thing that you want to do is go through life with a closed mind. This thing has to be wide open. So do these, right? You want to constantly be learning from everybody. I learned a lot of sales strategies by actually being at the poker table of all places. You know,
Nice.
so I mean, you never know. What's that?
How did that work?
Well, it was again when I was 17, 18 years old. One of my buddies, he invited me over to his house. They had a weekly poker game, and I'd played poker before. Here's 5 cards. Did you win? You know, that's what I played. And but yeah, come on over, hang out with us. It's a bunch of fun. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go over and I see all these guys chips stacked. There's money being thrown on the table. You know, swearing like sailors, but everyone's having a good time. Like I was interested. You know, it was peaked a little bit. So I had $20 burning a hole in my pocket, and I was like, yeah, I want in on some of this. What happened next was just amazing. I lost my $20. So I pulled out another and another and another. And as I was watching everybody, it was different mannerisms. It was body language. It was tonality, right? These subtle nuances that 99% of people don't pick up on. I was picking up on. I was getting reads on everyone, and before I knew it, I was the one raking in the chips. So
that's a nice way to learn some sales tactics, is when you can watch the money grow in front of you in the form of chips.
Right, and it's by your own efforts, because the cards don't matter. You know, I tell people, I use poker as a metaphor. It doesn't matter what cards you've been dealt in life, you can still come out the winner. You know, it depends on how you play them, what sort of efforts you put in.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody else folds, you still win.
There you go. So always keep, you know, open mind, open ears, open eyes. You never know who or what you're going to learn.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, there's a lot of people that'll tell you, you know, or especially I always focus around network marketing because that's obviously what we know best.
Right.
Almost every company provides sales training or business training for their particular model. But like you said, you know, you've got to kind of keep your options open. Do you know of any network marketing leaders that you would recommend to people, or are you not familiar with any?
Any network? Hold on. The name's slipping my mind. The author of GoPro.
Eric Worre.
There's a leader in network marketing. There's a wealth of knowledge in his book. You know, so that's a book that every MLM you should start with. It'll help get you in the right mindset, because he wasn't a one and done. You know, he went through multiple companies as well. So yeah, that's something. So definitely, you know, look into resources like that. But if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty of it, like I said, it's sales at its finest, right? You know, you're just in a different kind of niche. You know, so keep everything as open as possible. But if you really want to learn and you don't know where to turn to, Google. Best sales trainers, best MLM, best leaders, yada yada. You'll be able to find blogs, Twitter accounts, Facebook, everything. You can get connected with these people and just start soaking things up.
Right. So with Google and searching and everything, no matter what company you search, you're gonna find negative things about multi-level marketing.
Yeah.
Ever since they were started, there's been negative reviews on them. People say it's a pyramid scheme and everything else, even though it's just structured. If everything in life is structured,
right,
most of them are structured like a pyramid. How do you think you people that are starting out in MLM could get around that and not I don't know how to word it.
I was waiting.
I don't know. Because MLM, you have two types of sales. You have selling your business and getting more team downline and everything else to build your team. Right. Then you have the sale of products.
Right.
So when you're prospecting people and say they're a good prospect and whatever, but they have that mindset of, oh, well, it's a pyramid scheme. How do you think what do you think are some tactics that you could switch on that would, help them understand that it's not?
The biggest thing is going to be the approach that you have altogether going into it. I mean, the term pyramid scheme, the thought pyramid scheme, yes, it can come up in anything. I mean, even in companies that I've dealt with, like we're independent contractors. You don't have a boss per se, but you have a contract, you have assignments that you have to do. Oh, that's a pyramid scheme. No, not at all. But it's all in the way that you approach it. So where are you at right now? Where are you at in your life? Are you happy with the money that you're making? Are you happy with this, that, and the other? Yes, no, get some information from them. Like I said, I ask a ton of questions because I want to see how I can best serve somebody. Now, you're in this spot, this spot, this spot. I've got an opportunity. It's something that I've been doing for a while. I think you might really kind of dig it. Can I share a little bit more with you? Well, yeah, well, you could even call yourself a contractor, or call yourself a rep, or call yourself an owner, whatever you want of this company. I'm in bed with this company right now, and this is what we do. These are the products that we have, and also we've got the ability. If you find somebody else that's really interested in what we have going on, and we can talk more about this later. If you find someone that's real interested and you think you can help them as well, you can extend the exact same opportunity to them. And you've worked in retail before, like you've had management and yada yada before, right? Well,
right.
You know that everything it's all tiered. You've got the baseline employees, they're getting $7 an hour. You've got the managers that are getting 10, 15, maybe $20 an hour, right? Everybody's on a different structure. It's the exact same thing. So you get somebody who's interested, you give them that opportunity, they run with it like they love it, you're going to get paid off of their production too. It's win-win for everybody. Is that something you'd be interested in? So you really want to qualify your prospects. You want to make sure that there is that, like I said, that connection. That's key. If you say anything above their head, you try to get too technical with it, you're going to lose them.
Right.
But just be open and be transparent with it. This is exactly what we do. I've got an opportunity. It works for me. It might not be right for you. Might not be right at all. But would you be open to taking a look at it? Sure.
I like that. So, see, I look at network marketing as like franchising. The startup cost is not nearly as high as starting a franchise. But you go to a Ford dealership, you see different people's names before that, but it's still a Ford dealership.
Right.
And to me, that's the way I figure it out in my head. It's like small franchises.
Right.
Well, that's pretty much all the questions I had. Do you have any left?
That's it.
All right.
For all of our followers and listeners,
Okay.
how can they contact you?
All right. Yeah, guys. You can find me on my website, mattpartain.com. You connect with me on Twitter, on Periscope, Instagram, and Snapchat at Mathew_Partain. And that's Matthew with 1 T. To everybody watching, I just launched my first ebook on my website, and it's about becoming the standard. That's actually the title of it, Become the Standard. And it's about fighting against the status quo, not going for a quota, but going for your potential. Just because you've reached a certain peak doesn't mean that you can't go that much higher. Become the change that you want to see from everybody. So go to my website, guys, pick up that ebook. My book is also about to launch, Champ or Chump, The Difference Is You.
Awesome. Well, I will definitely have those linked up in the comment section on Facebook and on our YouTube channel and website and iTunes and YouTube and
I love it.
Everywhere else it is.
Now, guys on Busker and Periscope, do you happen to have any questions at all for me? I'd love to have you guys in here. We're still recording. We're still streaming live and everything. Any questions you guys have about sales, MLM, marketing, anything at all, branding yourself, staying positive, whatever you guys got, throw it in there. And we got some hearts coming up. We got some people are throwing hearts up there. They love you guys.
Yeah, there we go. Hearts are always a good thing.
What happened to the stock market today? I don't know. It went up. It went down. Sideways. Stock market.
It's a normal stock market day.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't. Consistency is key. Exactly. That's a point I want to drive home. Thank you so much, Julie. Broadcast is very choppy. I'm sorry about that. Consistency is key with anything. Anybody starting out in sales, with MLM, with anything, you've got to be consistent in your results. You know, a lot of us, we wake up every day and we're like, hey, it's a brand new day. It is completely isolated from every other day that exists. If that's the way that we go after it, really think about this. Your best day that you've ever had, you're never going to be able to duplicate it. You're never going to be able to come close because you don't know what it took to make that happen, right? And if your days are terrible, do you want to keep banging your head against the wall every single day? Or do you want to find out what's wrong so you can fix it and make it better and even eliminate the bad days, right? So consistency is key. You've got to have a consistent action to get a consistent result. Julie, thank you so much for saying that. What else you guys got? Any questions? Come on, throw them up. What do you think? What you think is what you do. Exactly. You got me. Hey, I appreciate it. I mean, really, you know, think about this stuff. So you were in the Navy, right?
Yeah.
Basic training, was that a breeze or was that hell?
That was pretty rough.
That was pretty rough, right? When you came out of it, you were much stronger. Forget physically, but mentally and emotionally, you had a totally different perspective on the world now, right?
Oh yeah.
There's a challenge thrown in front of you. You're like, I don't know if I can do it, but I'm gonna give it hell to do it, right?
Right.
If it's not going to work, I'm gonna prove to me that it's not gonna work by turning over every single stone, leaving it all on the table. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna let negative influences, I'm not gonna let those voices that have been fed to us all our lives tell me that I'm no good, tell me that it can't work, tell me the thousands of reasons why it shouldn't and why it won't. Prove it to yourself. But go after everything. You got to be willing to put in 100%. If you're not willing to fail, you're not ready to succeed yet.
That's true.
Yeah, I've done that a lot. Yeah, that I guess that does make sense too, because in the military, you know, like when you said the boot camp, you start out, it's a totally different world. And in sales or multi-level marketing and whatever, you know, I try to explain to people, it's not something you're used to doing. If somebody prospected you and you joined an MLM business and you've never been in one before, you didn't even know what it was possibly when you joined, it's a whole new world. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And one more thing, guys. One more thing. I mean, we're gonna wrap this up. The questions stop coming in. If you guys have anything, throw them up there. Let's use the military, right? Instead of having a wish or a want or a dream, or also instead of having a goal, have a mission, or in other words, have an obligation of something that has to be done, right? When you were in the Navy and you were like, you know, hey, we've got this mission for you, this assignment. It doesn't matter. Oh, I'm tired. I'm hungry. I don't feel good. You know, all my guys, they might not show up. They might drop the ball. You know, the opposing forces, they might be triple than what you guys are anticipating. Did any of that matter, or did it matter that you have to get this done? Period.
Yep. Gotta get it done.
You know, make your goals. Make it a mission. You know, you are on a mission every single day to succeed, to be better than you were yesterday, so you can have a better tomorrow and share that with everybody that you know and love.
Right. Actually heard something on one of the older podcasts from Gary Vaynerchuk. I think it was just this morning that he was talking about how people, you know, he always tells people to have patience with their business because it doesn't always come quick. So you have to have patience, but you also have to hustle at it to, you know, get things done, but you have to have a plan or some focus, because you can work your ass off, but if you don't know what you're working towards, you're just working your ass off. You're not really accomplishing anything.
Yeah, that's the difference in being busy and being productive.
I don't think I really have any sales books until his comes out. Then we'll have to get his.
When it comes out, I'll be sure to get you your own signed copy.
Yes, please do. Actually, as we're done with this, I'm going to go to your website and get the ebook. So
dynamite. Now, I will tell you guys watching the ebook. I was under the gun to put it out. I wanted to make sure you guys had something to take away. The inside, the content is gold, but it's not as pretty as I want it. I want everything to look pretty, right?
Right.
we got a great looking cover though. So, but yeah, pick it up as Julie, throw that question in again. It faded away. We had a question come in. What's your business? Am I on Shark Tank? I wish I was on Shark Tank. Man, that would be awesome. No, I'm not on Shark Tank. I follow Shark Tank though. It's a lot of fun to watch. So you listen to the audiobooks, right?
I listen to it's not audiobooks. What is it called? Like
it's audios, but it's through our business mostly. Are the
Okay.
ones that we listen to, or anytime she's in my truck and we listen to Gary Vee or podcasts, stuff like that.
All right, awesome. So what's so you're listening to more like podcasts, webinars, that kind of thing, right?
yes.
What's the best tip that you guys have ever received for selling and for MLM that basically you fall back on every day?
Talk to everybody. We'll
Okay.
go out to dinner and we're talking to waitresses, waiters, anybody at the bar that we go to. We just talk to everybody. Basically, he talks to everybody, I should say.
I've never met somebody that wasn't my friend the first time I met them. The second time, they may not have been my friend, but the first time, we were good to go.
You can't take it personally because they're not saying no to you. They're really saying no to themselves.
Right.
A lot of people, they don't move forward in a sale because of those, like we said earlier from my buddy Ben, those limited beliefs. They've got limited beliefs in themselves. I'm not good enough. I can't do it, so on and so forth. So many of us, like, we need that motivator. We need somebody that we can look up to and get us inspired, get us fired up, and break us out of our shell.
Yeah, they're out of their comfort zone, so they don't want to do it.
Right. And I'll throw this out there to everybody watching, everybody, guys. If you're comfortable, you're dying, period. Time is constantly moving forward. You're either moving with it or you're getting thrown to the back of the line. You've got to challenge yourself each and every day. That's how we grow. Think about it if you guys work out at all, or if you've ever worked out, or if you've heard of working out, right? Hold on. What about how you feel you could figure out people by their colors? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Is that a legitimate thing? What do you guys think about that? I just had a question come in. Figuring people out by their colors, I guess by what they're wearing. Like it might say a different thing, personality traits, something like that.
I have heard that, there's different, like, I don't wear red.
Oh, no. The red people, purple people, blue people, and what it all means. I don't know. I've not heard of that. But, okay, comfortable and happy. Now, hey, if you're happy, boom, you're on the right track, right? You're on the right track. But when it comes to business, success, when it comes to sales, you've got to be moving forward. You have to challenge yourself and get uncomfortable. That's where your comfort needs to be, is being uncomfortable. How many times have you just sat at home and you're like, oh, what am I doing today? What can I do? What am I going to get done? And then later on in the week, later on in the month, later on in the year, you're like, where's the time gone? What have I done? I've got so many things on my list. My time is ticking. My clock is ticking. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I want this, and this, and this. So being comfortable, which is really just, being scared and settling for good enough, right? Which it never is. As we all know, life throws curveballs at you every day. That's where regret comes in, guys. Think about this. I want to leave everybody with this thought. This is something really to chew on. Imagine yourself, no matter how old you are right now, imagine yourself as 85, 90 years old. You're sitting on your porch, you're in your rocking chair, and you're reminiscing on your life. What do you want to be thinking about? You got your grandkids around, your great-grandkids. What kind of stories do you want to tell them? Do you want to say, well, Grandpa had the chance to do all of this, but Grandpa didn't do it because he was scared? That's the message I want to teach you kids. Or do you want to say, you know what? Grandpa was really scared of this, but Grandpa made it happen. All the stuff that you see around here, the things that we've done, the trips we've taken, what your mom and dad talk about all the time. I'm happy that I was able to teach them those lessons because of what I've gone through. Everybody goes through hell. Everybody has strife. Everybody has struggles. But what are you doing with those? Are you letting those kick you down and keep you there? Or are you using those as fuel for your entrepreneurial fire? What MLM company do I work for? I don't. I'm a sales trainer, author, legacy leader, guys. I'm a sales expert. Selling is what I love to do. So really think about that. What are you doing with your fear? Are you using it to fuel your fire? Are you using it like coal? Or are you using it to burn up your dreams into ashes? So 75 years old, sitting back, 85 years old, sitting back, reminiscing on life. What kind of stories do you want to tell? Do you want to have regret? Do you want to be like, man, I wish I could, I wish I did, now I'm too old, I'm going to die next week? Or look at everything that I've done. Look at all that I was able to do for everybody else. Because the more successful that you are, the more successful that I am, the more good we can do for everybody else.
So are you good, love?
I'm good.
You have any more questions on your end?
I don't. But guys, on Periscope and Busker, I want to thank you so much for inviting your followers, for the likes, the shares, the comments, everything. Where can you guys be found? At MLM_Unlimited. That's for Twitter, correct?
That's for Twitter.
And then
everywhere else, it's just at MLM Unlimited.
Okay. At MLM Unlimited. Follow these guys. They are absolutely amazing. This has been so much fun.
It has. I love doing this. One of these days, and hopefully if we can get, I'm going to try and get quite a few people together, and so schedules are going to be tough. But I want to get, we just did an interview a little while back with one of a business consultant.
Okay.
He primarily deals with network marketers and whatever, but he also does big businesses. And then, you for sales, then we've got people that have done SEO, we've got website design, social media experts in various, whether it's Twitter or Facebook or whatever. And I want to get everybody together on one interview and one recording and just have a question, just go down the line and see what everybody's answers are. I think that's going to be real cool. So hopefully
that would be, yeah.
You can, we can have you on there if you're available.
I think I could make myself available for that. That would be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
It's something you get happy and comfortable. All right, thank you so much. No, that would be a blast, guys. Yeah, and again, thank you for having me on. This has been a lot of fun, and after the day I've had, I needed this.
I understand.
Yeah, she had a pretty rough one too. So
yeah.
All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off on Facebook here. And let's see. Everybody on Facebook, we'll see y'all later.
See you guys.